Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Higher Density Living here with Jason Rigby and Alexander McKeag, your favorite creational law host on Higher Density Living. Probably not true, but I'm going to say that because it makes me feel better.
Who else is putting out creational laws on a podcast?
I've seen one person do it on like a quarterly format.
Yeah.
And it's not even
exactly.
a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just trying to spew some truth.
Yeah, that's it.
That can be challenged. By the way, let me talk about that. I get emails all the time, people challenging our stuff. Right, they'll say something, they'll just openly like try and slander, and I'm like, can you just give me some objective observations and truths about this? Can you explain it to me?
Yes.
Never get a response.
Yeah, it's interesting how having a kind heart and disagreeing with somebody, how that's not perceived. It used to be that way back in the old days.
Sure.
Like you could like have some brandy, smoke a cigar, and people would argue politics back and forth.
Sounds kind of nice right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But but now it's just like you are wrong, you are evil, I hate you.
That's what the emails are like, and I'm like, okay. So first of all, if I'm instigating, if this is like a catalyst for you,
right?
I'm like, it's too bad that you feel that way. Walk me through, point it out for me with example, and then objectively tell me, logically break it down how it is that I'm making you feel like this, or what I'm saying is untrue.
But don't you feel like somebody could disagree with you, especially when it comes to these beliefs and biases that we have?
That's what they're
political. I mean, yeah.
You just coming at me, if you come at us with a belief or those optics over your eyes, what are you going to do? You'll never come from a point of understanding.
No,
it's a point of attack.
Yeah,
you're so polarized,
and you're looking at it in just this frame window of however many years old you are, instead of looking at it like that green rock that is so beautiful that I saw on the freeway coming up here.
Which one?
On the right, it has that like green. In Taos, they have a lot of it too. It starts with an L.
Limestone?
No, it's not limestone. It has some weird name, but somebody's yelling it out.
Lichen? The green stuff that grows on the rock. It's very, very old.
Yes.
You don't want to walk on it.
Yeah, that stuff has been around for a while.
A long, long time. Slow growing organism. Yeah.
So it laughs at our flags and borders.
Does it have any? Yeah. Does it have any bias? I don't think so. And I know it prefers sunlight.
Yeah. And so, 50 years from now, if we survive and we don't get nuked from Russia and Ukraine stuff.
Honestly, and I know you're saying that's not a joke.
No, it's not a joke.
And for the people that, may or may not be paying attention to global politics, and I have no interest in the news, it's really at a point where people are like, does it really even matter? It's so hedonistic. It's so power hungry. It's so polarized and hate driven that there's no reason that someone wouldn't launch a nuke.
Well, I just love this whole idea of us saying the United States, that where we're at, instead of seeking diplomacy and peace, we're like, you know what? We're going to give you a shitload of weapons.
Yeah.
Have fun, boys.
Yeah. You guys, you got a problem going on? Sure. We'll just give you some stuff.
Military industrial complex. Here we go.
Yeah. Lockheed's rolling their head. Douglas, McDonnell Douglas is going like this. Raytheon. Yeah.
And we've had shows on that.
Northrop Grumman. They're like, contracts.
Unfortunately, the military and war gives us technology.
It does.
It kind of gives us this catalyst.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? In suffering is when we tend to learn the most.
Yeah.
As humans,
that's when people start to become more truthful with themselves. They have to be put, which is a ridiculous notion, honestly, for human beings, is that they have to be pushed to this point of pain before the learning occurs. It's ridiculous. You don't have to get to a point of suffering.
No.
This is not some Buddhist dogma here that you have to suffer to really experience life and then try and rid yourself of that suffering. You don't have to even be there in the first place.
No. Yeah, and I think we should always seek peace in everything we do, especially with this, sitting down and saying, you know what, I think Zelensky or whatever, the president of Ukraine, is a human.
Just
Putin
a human being.
Is a human being. It's two humans having a conversation.
Or trying to have
and both of them seeking peace.
Yeah.
That outcome alone would be, and what does that look like to you? And what does that look like to me? And how can we make a compromise where we save lives, save humans?
It's a border.
Yes.
What is a border? You can't even see them.
It's manufactured.
Totally manufactured ideas that we're killing each other over. That are driving us to the brink of nuclear war.
Yeah, and it's 20 fucking. You think we'd have gotten over this a long time ago?
Not a fucking chance.
And understand. That's why astronauts. I've told you that before, but astronauts when they see the Earth,
yeah,
it's almost like you can't see any of that. You can't see the flags. You can't see the borders.
So what do you see?
You just see this beautiful planet.
One thing
that we need to nurture and take care of and be a part of.
Yeah, because it's the thing that gives you life.
Yeah, Avatar, motherfuckers.
Yeah, put your braid into the tree. Figure it out.
Figure it out. They got the new one coming.
I can't wait for it.
I know. I saw the previews.
It's a two-part.
I got
It's a two-part, and he's supposed to release them both on the same day.
Oh,
it's like 6. He wants you to be in the theater
for 6 hours.
Go out, have your little lunch or something, and then come back in. That's the original thought on that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like that. So let's get into this. We're going to get into gray aliens and artificial intelligence. We just did a whole show on artificial intelligence.
Oh, grays.
So now I want to get into some gray. Everybody likes the gray aliens.
I don't know why.
Are they afraid of them or whatever? They're the popular ones.
What's the attraction with the gray aliens, by the way?
I think it started with the 1950s, and then you had, but we've had petroglyphs with grays.
Sure,
that look of gray.
No, I'm not
that same
I'm not doubting it. It's just like a
short.
I have a big head,
but you're not 4 feet tall.
Yeah, I know. Actually, nobody knows that. These listeners, they never see the other length of my torso.
I'm like 6'2", and you're way taller than me.
6'5". We're a bunch of tall people.
Yes, we are a bunch of tall people. So, the article starts off with this. We are living in a time of huge upheaval. The COVID-19 pandemic, the global socioeconomic disasters caused by the effects of lockdown, and the possible threats to species survival brought about by climate change. And these are only a few challenges that we faced.
Okay, so let's itemize this real quick.
Right. COVID-19 pandemic.
So we have COVID, right?
Yeah, everybody knows about that. We don't need to talk about that too much.
Yeah, that increased suicide rates.
Yes.
Increased loneliness.
Mental health issues.
Yeah, mental health decrease. Okay.
Global socioeconomic disasters.
Yep, socioeconomic disasters. Okay, so economies are collapsing.
Yes.
People don't have access to resources.
Yes.
People are starving.
Yes.
Okay, what's the next one?
And then they all come together. It's like this big triangle. Climate change.
Oh, climate change. Interesting. So the Earth is changing. That is not in a format that's going to be serendipitous for our living going forward. It's not going to be in a wonderful state of equilibrium. We're throwing it into disequilibrium. Oh, good. So we have society collapsing. Our internal mental health is completely evaporating. The amount of pandemics that we're having are going to increase because the population is so large, and the climate doesn't want us here.
That's crazy.
Oh, we're on the brink of nuclear war. What a time to be alive.
I mean, I'm laughing because it's almost
I know
I'm laughing in like a sad laugh. Like, here it is, 2022.
Yeah.
And you think we'd be so enlightened at the point that the things that we handled in the 1940s and 1950s, even the 18th century, they've propped up again.
Because people want to carry them forward in the most unlearned, untruthful, unwise, unknowing, uncreational matter.
But they also have to understand you're being controlled.
Yeah.
And there's external Raw talks about this. There's external beings,
sure,
that are controlling the narrative.
Why?
And they work with the 1 of 1%. I don't think it's all the 1%.
No,
but they work with a percentage of the 1% because those are the ones that go to Davos and make the decisions for the rest of the world. And if they can influence those people, then they know that they.
But they can't go against their free will.
No.
So they have to have people that are negatively polarized, that want to control.
Yes.
And then what they'll do is they'll exacerbate
the catalyst
or increase the catalyst, which this human being has already started.
Yeah. And so you have to understand that just understand when you're going super negative or you're feeling these negative vibes, you're actually destroying the idea. It's going to happen regardless of you or not. But in the collective consciousness idea of going to fourth density, you're actually going against that. You're going against this idea of enlightenment.
There's no green ray, feeling a sense of like a bond of brotherly love to all human beings.
Right.
You're not interested.
No.
You're interested in control. You're interested in more power.
It's control and power.
Right.
Yep.
What you're doing is you're actually showing your state of weakness. That's a weakness trying to control.
It's crazy.
Does the sun, can I ask you something basic here?
Sun's one of the most powerful things
but does it try to control you?
No.
Can you choose to go in the shade? Can you choose to live underground?
Yeah.
Can you choose to avoid it? Sure. It's not trying to control you to be powerful.
No.
It just is what it is, and there's great power in that.
Yeah. I mean, aliens use gold flakes to control the sun.
Yeah.
Just put gold mist up in the...
what was it? I
Guy.
think was it the 50s or the 60s that MIT worked with the U.S. Navy to launch all those copper needles in the atmosphere to control weather?
Yeah.
Those are early stages.
Mm-hmm.
You pumped that stuff forward. Yeah, whenever you got that idea from, very interesting.
Because the Anunnaki talks about that.
Yes.
About using gold. That's why they wanted to come down here and get the gold, because they were using gold to control the atmosphere.
I want all the gold.
All the gold. We'll do. I need all the gold. Cash flow, baby.
That's what it's all about.
That's hilarious. So
let's be mining those asteroids.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We can get back to the article.
We need some slaves, some reptilians.
Yeah, I want sentient AI slaves. That's what I want.
With like human collars.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That would make me feel better.
Yeah, 9-foot reptilians with
stinky
have
reptilians.
Humans. Yeah, exactly. David Icke can give us the whole freaking reptilian shit.
Yeah, he'll probably open it up with Hillary Clinton, but that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So this article was in fatemag.com. The reason I'm saying this because this guy, we're going to disagree with him here.
Okay.
But this is what he says. He says, I propose that in reality, our biggest existential threat is not from any environmental catastrophe or whatever.
Catastrophe.
What the fuck?
Catastrophe. It's the Russian catastrophe.
But instead, from our own man-made transition from natural human being to cyborg via electronic devices and interfaces.
Yeah. So you thinking like things like wetware? Like Elon?
Yeah, but he goes on. We are at a turning point from our species. Turning point. Notice that word. In which our natural humanity is gradually being converted into an artificial format. Already, we are increasingly relying on smart devices to the point that they become more mere extensions of our body. You know, he's talking about Neuralink, in-one sensors, you know, with Elon Musk and all that stuff. But he's getting into that he thinks AI is artificial intelligence is our biggest existential threat.
Why? How could it be? The only way it could become a threat is if we allow the AI to have full sovereignty over our systems, and the people who designed it are ones that have some sort of background of wanting to control.
So like because he goes into this Neuralink, he said, could this lead to an entirely new species of human with unlimited memory, unlimited calculation ability?
First of all, species is incorrect. Species is a fundamental factor of an evolutive development of human beings and their genetic code. Just because I'm throwing electronic signals that are artificial from the outside, essentially synthesizing my body, does not create a new species. It's just altering the way that species chooses to exist.
Do you think that it would alter evolution? So, like in the sense, do you think 10 kids from then, as that technology evolves, how much will it biologically take over?
I actually think
our thought process.
I'm glad you asked. I actually think it's going to inhibit it. I think it'll become lazy and reliant. Because you're not writing. So
it'd just be like a blob.
It'd be different if it was like everybody knew how to enhance their algorithms. Okay. And if I'm having an interaction with this thing, I can tell it the interactions I want. But if it's a predefined algorithm by some sort of outside party telling me how I should develop, now I'm doing something totally
unfair. Yeah. Could you imagine like Pepsi, Frito-Lay?
Yeah.
Being in charge of like, you need to go.
You need to go buy more chips. Yeah, exactly. Right now.
Soda.
Yeah, more soda. Marlboro's like, you need to smoke more.
Yeah.
Now people are paying for ad space on your Neuralink.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
He says, will these technological advances change the format of our lives, or more fundamentally, the format of our being?
No, it can't change the format of our being. What it does is it makes people more lazy and less evolutive. Why? Because your reliance then goes to something on the outside in the material rather than your internal evolution on the inside.
Right.
What is that one thing? All those movies you see where people are like in a prison camp or something, like the one thing they can't take from you is your mind. Right?
Right.
So what happened when you start handing over synapses in the material format?
Do you think these systems, I'm going to use an example with Turtle, and I'm going to get kind of like businessy real quick. So it's interesting. So I'm running ads. Well, no, let's use HDL. Let's talk about HDL.
Sure.
So I'm running some HDL ads to bring awareness to people. The AI generated images do 10 times better than any other image I run through there.
Sure.
I wonder, is the computer recognizing that an AI made that image? Why is it the AI? Why is it the AI images are 10xing?
Well, I'll tell you why.
Every time.
I'll tell you why. The image you had created by the AI is taking all of the input from the internet from what society is already inputting as things they want to see.
This makes sense.
So rather than you coming in as this third party saying,
marketing class 401, here we go.
Yeah. Rather than me coming in and say, all right, I'm going to design an ad and I think this is going to be best. And we're going to go test it. Why do that? Just use a generative machine.
That's what's going to happen.
That everybody participates in, and then have that create your ad for you.
We just created something.
Did you just say this is giving me right here? That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Because I wanted to play around with it because I was like,
well, came
to the same conclusion I did, but
it makes tremendous sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you that was very astute of you.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, this is why he's the chief conscious marketing officer of Chartle.
Yeah, we were talking to a London bank the other day, and he called me my IE idiot savant. So
idiot savant.
Yeah, I love that.
That's the highest compliment I could pay someone.
I know.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
I love it. That's why I don't have shoelaces on my shoes.
No, I know, and that's why you're going to be deaf to the piano in no time. Thanks, Mozart.
The Piano, that movie. Remember that movie?
Great film.
Weird.
Great film.
They won an Oscar, though. That dude won an Oscar.
He did.
Yeah, it was a wild movie.
So what are we going to hear? This existential threat here.
So with the development of seamless bioelectronic interfaces, allowing better communication between living organisms and machines and RFID chips introduced into the body, hacking is likely to become a serious issue.
Can I ask you something here? Say I shove my body full of all this electronic synthesized shit. You know what it reminds me of? Self-help books.
You are right.
Great.
It's like electronic self-help books hooked to you.
Yeah, why read the self-help book?
Right.
Just inject that shit right into my neck. What good's that going to do? You haven't learned anything. You're looking for shortcuts to life to run your life. Guess what? Life requires work. Stop being so fucking lazy. Take the catalyst of life.
100%.
And enjoy the learning and the difficulties, the trials and tribulations of life, and realize that is a function of striving and evolution for everyone. For you, every plant, every bug.
Yes.
Everything goes through this.
Dude, I was watching a show on ants the other day. And so there's like 100 times more ants than humans. There's like trillions of ants.
It's a population issue.
Yeah, it's a population.
This is directly affecting.
But they're cool. They're chill.
Oh,
I mean, we don't see like ants just everywhere all the time. You put some sugar over there, you'll see some.
They live underground. That's why.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like their whole idea is, and they were showing like how they work and like that whole idea. In the Bible, there's a proverb in the Bible that says you're going to love this. In the Old King James, I love it. It says, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard."
Yeah, you want to know why? You want to see efficiency in group work?
Yes.
Go look at an anthill.
Yeah, exactly.
Sluggard.
But so it's like this.
I love that word.
Fuck.
I got to write that down. Yeah, you lazy fuck. It's sluggard.
Get some work done.
Yeah.
Look, but what are we taught? This is the creation law. Go back to creation. Look and see, what are these fuckers doing?
Service to others only.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Oh, what do? They have the land in front of them. And that's what they get to use.
And they were showing like how efficient. And honeybees are the same way. We've talked about honeybees before, but ants, it's like how efficient they are, and they have to learn. They have to work in the nursery and help the queen out. And then as they get older, then they do more tasks and they develop sensors and stuff like that.
Oh, and somebody has an input. What am I going to do? Share with the rest of the group. Yeah. Oh, what a fantastic little social memory complex going on.
Yeah, and they have like emotions and all kinds of shit. People don't realize how complex creation is. We
screw the AI, just make supersized ants. Comes to your construction. Put wetware inside an ant. Go have the thing build a building for you.
Well, I think a lot of people don't understand this either. Just our sight. From what the universe is, the dark matter, everything that we have in our sight. And I was listening to a physicist say this a couple months ago. He said, and what we can see on the color spectrum, just on the color spectrum, not the other types of spectrums that are out there and everything else.
Don't upset me with some truth.
He goes,
right now.
if you take our vast universe, put a pinhead on a map in a universe, and then put the tiniest speck that you can put on that pinhead, that's the equivalent to how much we as humans can see. He goes, we're basically blind.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this episode. That's so upsetting, but it's so true.
We can't see majority of how much of physics can we see?
Nothing.
But there are parts of creation that can see that.
Can I see deep infrared? No. Can I see high ultraviolet? No. Gamma? Not a chance. I can't see this stuff.
Bats can. Bats can see like radar and shit like that. That's what's fucking them up with the cars and stuff that have the radar. They can.
It's the 5G and the radar bouncing around. Bats are going to be slamming into your Tesla. No, but it is fundamentally true. It's like, what do you do in this world when you're actually limited to the amount of input that can come in? What does it tell you? Why rely on something if you're blind? If you are blind, stop using your eyes to develop. Look internally. Your mind can show you any color, anything you want. Your consciousness will allow you to evolve. Stop looking to the outside to try and understand.
So, free will. And we'll close in this, and we're going to have to do another episode on the gray aliens.
I don't have any free will.
But no, you won't. Do you, if you become a cyborg, who owns you then?
The person who wrote the algorithm.
Yeah, the wetware. Are you considered a robot then?
No, cyborg.
Are you considered a human?
It's flesh. It's a flesh synthetic mix, which is a coin of a cyborg. A robot doesn't have that.
Right.
Robot's just strictly synthetic. When you bring those two things together, you got the cyborg. But the thing is, say a law is broken. What are you going to blame? Oh, my algorithm misfired. I didn't mean to stab grandma.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mean to, do anything. Oh, I didn't mean to hijack the plane. It was my wetware. How does that work? Who chose to put it in their body? You did. You were still 100% responsible. Okay? This thing will never, even if you put it inside of you, and it may make your body misfire and your arm flies in the air like the old E-Trade commercial with the neurosurgeon messing with the guy's head. You are the one that fundamentally has the choice. Yes. You always have the free will, and you made the decision to put this synthetic thing inside of you for some sort of, cultural and scientific evolution of the self. So your free will is still 100% intact, but just understand that you allowed something to come in to alter how you make your decisions occur, how you choose to evolve. You're doing yourself a disservice because you're actually relinquishing the full spectrum of sovereignty over choice making, because now you have something that's going to interrupt your material actions that are occurring, or even throwing off your patterns for how you think. Oh, I want this thing to cure my depression. I want it to do an electrical fire so it blocks off certain parts of my brain so I don't feel like a sense of loneliness.
But I mean, the pharmaceutical companies are doing that now.
They do it right now.
Whether you put wetware or you take a drug, it's doing the same thing. It's altering. And I'm not saying some people may need that, but I think a lot of people like to use external things for crutches instead of dealing with internally and understanding the power belongs to you. The power is in you.
Yeah.
That creational, universal expansion that is constantly expanding, you have the ability to expand in that same format.
Correct.
That's what you were created here to do. That's what creativity is.
That's all you're here to do. And, people are so focused on this very physical wetware, like a wire going in their head. Do you know that the U.S. Naval Labs came up with a thing called the nanodust? You seen this?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen
It's a legitimate 100% thing that comes in and directly affects the hormone and endocrine response in your body through nanites. They call it dust, smart dust.
You could just absorb it, like just suck it up.
Look it up. It's well cited. There's published papers. You'd never even know.
You never even know. Yeah.
Smart dust and the whole thing's just totally taken over. All the electrical signals in your body.
Well, that's Westworld. This last one was like the flies. They get in your mouth.
Even smaller. Yeah. You don't even see it. Smart dust. Look it up.
They just take over. It takes over your brain.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good one. I think we should stop there.
That's pretty good. And again, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Quality Mazda NM. They are one of the finest automotive dealership groups in the New Mexico area that will ship a car to any sort of online purchaser to the Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas region. So if you're looking for an educational buying experience, something that is a quality product, I know you drive one, Jason.
Yes.
And I've driven quite a few just on my own free time. I really do enjoy those cars. You can go to qualitymazdanm.com.
And Tartle.co.
Mm-hmm.
Share data, earn money, change your world. It's that simple.
Pretty simple process.
If you want to earn money, or maybe you're like, hey, I love HDL. I love what you guys are doing here. Well, the number one thing you can do for us is to sign up for Tartle and support. Share your data, go in there, fill out data packets. It's fun.
We don't want to get rich.
It's like a game.
That's not the goal here. We want to cover costs so we can continue to have these conversations, right?
So Tartle.co.
Yep.
And sign up. And you'll see it right here. TARTLE.
TLE. And then an imaginary.co. All right. Thanks very much, everybody.